So, in identifying the bat pattern, the butterfly, and Gartley, I have created a few notes that could help you for the measurement. So, we will use this note as we would identify the kind of pattern that the chart is showing. But first, we have to uh, I have to draw it to you so that you will know what I'm trying to point out, and you will accurately have identify the exact location of these measurements. So based on these notes, anyway, this is found on my blog. If you're gonna use it, it's you just have to visit this one. It's on fxact.blogspot.com. So I got this from a tutorial of two most famous website, which are traders and newbie like me are want to learn more on patterns. So this is where I get the measurement. So let's go and how to identify this one. First, what we're going to use is the Fibonacci tool. So, based on the notes that I have told you, see, we have to get from X, okay, we have to get from X to A point. So, if we're going to cipher a bot, it says that the AB is 38.2 to 50%. So, if we're going to measure that, this one, so the retracement of x, we will just put this an x. Okay, we put this an a. Okay. The retracement of a bat pattern will be anything from 38 to 50. See, there. So that's the we will from this point of entry we will know that it is a bat pattern if the AB, let's put this one B, okay, if the AB is the retracement of XA, which is 38 to 50% retracement. So if you could see that on the chart, then you would know you will have a potential bat pattern. Now let's go to butterfly. For the butterfly, just copy this one. Okay. For the butterfly, it says on our notes that butterfly will be 78.60% retracement of X A. So if ever you see a retracement from X to A that is 78, again, it will give you a potential of butterfly pattern. So let me just point this one X and A and B. There you go. So if ever we have seen this kind of thing that is forming, that is 78% retracement of X and A, then that's a potential butterfly. Now let's go for Gartley. And for Gartley, Gartley will be 61.80% retracement. That's the AB of XA. So the Gartley will be, oops, sorry for that. The Gartley will be the this one. There we go. So that's it. So if you could see a retracement of again 38 to 50%, then that's potentially forming a butt. If you could see a retracement of 78, then that's potentially butterfly. And if you could see a retracement of 61 point, oops, there, lumampas, 61.80%, then that could be a Gartley. So now let's go back here. Let's go back to the bat pattern. It says on the BC, it says on the BC of the bat pattern, all of it will have 38.2 to 88.6. So these are the uh, exact measurement for BC. So from 38.2%. Now again, what you're going to do is just measure if it is like this one will take the 50%. So now we're gonna measure A to B, and anything that will measure from here from 38% to 88, there, that's 88, exactly 88, that will be the point C. See again, BC will be from 38, from this one to 88. So it is very important that the C, end of the C, will not be equally at the AB. If it is equal, then there will be no pattern forming in it. So that goes also to the butterfly. Anything measurement from AB, so anything that will form from 38 to 88%, and that we could have the letter C there. And that goes also to Gartley. We just have to move this one to give more space. Okay. So in Gartley, it says retracement of AB will be from 38 also to 88. So it could be here, it could be here, it could be here, it could be here, or it could be the maximum will be on 88, the minimum will be 38. And that goes all to the pattern. Okay? So now we got the ABC, ABC, ABC. The next we're going to find is the ABCD pattern, for it is number one requirement on all pattern that they will have an ABCD pattern. So when we talk about ABCD, since we already have the BC, let's go for the bat. Now we will measure, oops, here we go, B and C, that's it. Okay. The ABCD pattern will be the 127 or the 161.80% of BC. That's the ABCD pattern. which we all know we could trade on this part and having our stop loss in this area, right on the A point. So again, if we are going to draw the ABCD pattern, which we can trade for it, then this is how you're going to see it. A, B, C. It's it's either here or here. Now, if the market reaches these 2 point, this extension 127 or 161, then it passes the requirement of having the ABCD pattern. So we will also get the from the butterfly. Remember, this is the bat. Just to give you bat. Okay, this is the bat measurement. This is the butterfly. And this is the Gartley. Okay. So, like I've said, every pattern must have ABCD pattern. So, on the butterfly, he will have a ABCD pattern, which is also, it has to have 1 to 7 or 161% of BC. Like for this one, that is allowed. This could be uh, the requirements of the butterfly. He had already a ABCD. And let's go for the Gartley pattern. So we will measure the B and C, and we will take these 2 points. A, B, C, D. Okay, that will be the Gartley pattern. Now, the requirement for the D, which is the completion of the pattern, for the bat, it says here that it will be 88.6% of XA and between 1.6, this is a typo error. Forgive me, this is a typo error. This is 161.8% or 261.8% of BC. So we already have the measurement for the BC. So the D will be in between here, but also it needs to be what, 88% of XA. Am I correct? But will be 88.6. So if that's 88.6, so in between 161 to 261 of BC and 88% of XA, so it's over here. There. This is the 100%. Now we could have the completion of the bat pattern by doing this one. So that's how you get the measurement. There you go. So that's the completion of the bat pattern. That's how you identify the measurements and the points, the exact points of the bat. And for the butterfly, it will be different. It says here it will be Again, this is a typo error, 127% of XA, and it between 161.8% to 268% of BC. So it's in between this point, 161 to 261 of BC, and we will get the 1 to 7 of XA. So the 1 to 7 is over here. So this is the 1 to 7. So we would expect that the butterfly, the D point of the butterfly will be at that point here. So the butterfly has ABCD pattern and it's 127% of XA, and it's between 161 to 261% of BC. Now for the Gartley, this has different measurement. Let's see if it has 78.6% of XA and 127% to 161.8% of BC. So it's a little bit shorter. So it has to be on this one, in between 1 to 7 to 161.80% of BC and 78.6% of XA. So we will get the measurement of XA. It will be 78. There you go. So here, it's over here. It's quite tight. It's quite tight. So of course, the ABCD pattern can be also at 1 to 7 to 161. So probably with this small measurement, it's little bit tight for the Gartley pattern. But still, pasok, no? It's still the correct measurement. So this is the Gartley. Oops, yeah. X, A, B, C, and he had the ABCD pattern, and we will go over here. There. So we could see that it's between 1 to 7 to 161% of BC, and it's a 78% of XA. There. So that's how we identify the pattern for it. Now if we will remove the measurements, okay, that's how you see. So that's the difference between them. So if you're just gonna follow this one, except forgive me for the typo error, I have to change this one. Now this is 161.8, this is 127, this is 161.8, this is 127. If you just follow these guidelines, and by the way, I didn't just make that guidelines. What I did is I got that tutorial from these two famous website, on which you could check it out for yourself kung tama ba ginagawa ko. So for here, for this part, the potential trade, of course, we will trade. How do we trade up this kind of pattern? We trade for short. Oops. From the ABCD pattern, and our stop loss will be so very tight. That's it. The stop loss will be on the A, as you can see. Okay, and our start of trade is in this one. Then our take profit will be on the D point. It's over here, and the D point is over here. Tama ba? Let me double check it. Okay, correct. And once we got this, we could also trade again going up. Long position from here, which is our stop loss will be on the X. And it the best way is for the safer one, we will take the 38%. Okay, that's it. This is the 38%. So to trade safely, you could go to 38%, but if you want to trade to 50 to 61%, that's the take profit area.